Number 10 on our list. It's 10 days till Christmas. I am Si. This is Matthew. That is Rhys. This is Cardiff City World. Sol Bamba is the subject this evening. Obviously, very sad to say that Sol passed away earlier this year. The club did a fantastic tribute, which I was lucky enough to be part of the focus group in and be involved in the build up to that, which was... It was a weird thing, like it was something which I was very proud to be a part of, but also it's like a very solemn thing and it's not a nice thing. But I thought for once, in fairness, the club did a very good job of organising it and also just putting it all together on relatively short notice. They did a pretty good job. Very quickly, Matt, what did you think about the tribute on the day and in the ground and that?
I think it was quite fitting, really, that obviously we was playing against one of his former clubs at Leeds United as well on the day. So, the reception he got, I think the week before, we played away up in Derby, which I was fortunate to go up to watch that as well. Tickets courtesy of Fan Hub, so shout out to them. But we did... they sang the song for Sol there, and fair play to Derby as well. They had a minute silence in that game for Sol, and the reception he got from both sets of fans was fantastic. And yeah, going back to the Leeds game then, like you said, he represented both clubs, and they both, sang his name throughout the game, and it was a really fitting tribute.
Yeah, he was unfortunately, that was one of the worst games of football I've ever seen Cardiff City participate in, certainly since the dark days of when I was little. It was really bad, but in terms of the tribute, I thought it was wicked. Rhys, what's the first thing that you think of when I say Sol Bamba to you?
Bristol City, his first game, scores a winning goal, just kickstart our season. That game was Warnock's first game as well, and it was... I suppose the season we had up to that point was really bad. We were negative, things were going right. We had a strong side on paper, but he came in and all of a sudden we looked like a proper team. We did, and we kicked on our season, got mid-table, and after that, then we were second in the league, promoted. Just a real leader though, and it was just we had Morrison, Gunnison, Peltier all there, but he came in and it just all clicked when he came into the side. He did, and as a defender, every club will look at Sol Bamba, and every club will appreciate a player like that. I think we were just lucky enough to get in there for when we did.
Yeah, and I think the other side of that is I'm pretty sure Neil Warnock said when he came in, there was almost cliques within the squad. I don't know if he said cliques, but that sort of thing, groups within the squad. Maybe not everybody was socialising together, and there was certainly not a divide as such, but more there was little groups of players who maybe didn't interact and that. And he said that when he got Sol Bamba in, sort of Sol and Sean Morrison and people like that was what brought that group together. And like you say, there was definitely a unity after that with Neil Warnock. And you could see, even before Sol passed away this year, you could see how close him and Neil Warnock are. The interactions that they had towards the end of their Cardiff careers, but also just after that, whenever you'd see them on Sky or something like that, they were obviously very close. I thought it was a bit, it's a Christmas episode, so I'm going to really bring the mood down now. But I thought the way he left was really disappointing, and I thought from his point of view, I felt quite sorry for him. He clearly didn't want to leave in the way he did, and it's just another one of those kind of little things sometimes where the club, I think, lets itself down a little bit. But I don't know, it is what it is, I suppose.
Yeah, no, it's 100%. It's when you look at a player of his stature who played over 100 games for the club, I think a bit more respect is needed from those at the top in the hierarchy. And modern day footballers now, we're all good to jump on their backs when they're not doing things right and things, or voice our opinions, then should we say? But they've got a difficult job. Don't get me wrong. I know they're getting paid for it, but they do deserve a bit of respect and to be treated fairly as well.
The lack of loyalty in football at the moment is wild, man. Obviously, as we record this, Mark Robins got sacked yesterday, which is a bit of a mad one to me, really, considering what he's achieved. And yeah, I think like with Sol, like just the way he left, he deserved a bit more. He obviously came real close to getting the manager's job not long ago. I think about 3 years ago, he was like well in the conversation. And I think at one point he was pretty sort of nailed on to be coming in. And then I think there was a few kind of, the club seems to have this thing at the moment over the last sort of 5 years or so where they really seem to listen to the social media. And I think there was a few sort of grumbles about him not having experience, and they sort of, it moved on quite quickly from him. I tend to think because of his personality and the way he led that side as a player, and how universally popular he is with players, with coaches, with fans, I think he would have done a real good job.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think he was he demanded that respect, didn't he? I think you know all the photos you see of him off the field, you know, that smile he had was infectious, I think. But he wasn't afraid to voice things either and put things out there, which made people stand up and listen, I think. But yeah, he just come across as an all-round nice guy, and definitely, I'd look at it and think, especially after that Craig Bellamy live event we went to, and you know, I think we all pretty much said the way he spoke and how passionate he was, you know, we'd run through a brick wall for him. Now, I think somebody like Sol Bamba being in the building as a manager or an assistant manager would have had that same kind of feeling as well.
This is where the club have let themselves down though, because Sean Morrison, the next leader, he's only now coming to do work with the academy. Why can't we get players like that in the door as coaches? I mean, he's not going to hire Bamba as a manager, get him as a coach, get him work with the academy, get him with the players.
Look at the job Darren Pearce has done with the academy, like the crop that's coming through. Obviously, you've got to have the talent available, but having players who've done it and been there, and those players, like all of the players which we just mentioned, Morrison, Pearce, Bamba, what have they all got in common? They're all leaders.
Exactly.
And it's like a no-brainer. And it does make you wonder sometimes with all, like when we're talking about Cardiff generally on the channel and stuff like that, it's like if we can see it, we're just so public, innit? Exactly. Why can't people who are running a football club who are supposed to be experts, you know, Cardiff City is a championship club. Like,
well, every manager we have, they bring the staff in. After 12 months, they're gone, and the staff are gone with them. There's no one else there. If you bring in someone like Bamba and say, no matter who's in charge, you will be here doing a job. There's some sort of continuation or something. I mean, there's a familiar face there all the time. So again, you're just missing out on the experience of so many great players, and the club just don't seem to know it's okay. And again, he's not going to be a manager right now straight away, but he can do a great job as a coach, then go an assistant manager, then take the job full time later on. Yeah, there's no forward thinking in the club.
Any goals which he scored which like stick out to you?
Brighton in the Premier League. It was late on. I think it was offside, I think it would have been, but we got away with it. Shirt came off in the crowd, didn't get a yellow card. What a goal that was for me. I absolutely loved it.
What was the volley one? He scored a volley, didn't he, where it just drops down in the centre sort of centre of the box to the right of the box, and he just nails it like prime Jay Bothroyd or someone like that. Like centre back, just.
He didn't have a bad scoring record considering he was centre half. I think he had 10 goals, was it? Just over the 100 appearances he played. But I think Rhys mentioned it earlier, the goal he scored against Bristol City on his debut. You know, what a way to start, you know, playing in a 7-side derby on your debut. But to get a winning goal as well kind of just set the marker for me, really, as to, you know, what to expect from him. And, you know, I think he was one of them types of players who, every time he was on the pitch, you knew he'd give you 100%. And I think that probably helped players around him knowing that, you know, I've used this example many times whereby even in grassroots rugby or football, if one player is missing, it can affect others as well. And I think, you know, having Sol Bamba in the team, you know, was a massive thing just to boost morale for everybody else as well.
He was a unique player as well with me, because you look at any defender who's 6'3", 6'4", the one thing they haven't got is mobility. And you see with Sean Morrison and Flint next to each other, there was no mobility there. They were both statues. Bamba could come out, you know, clear the ball, clear the lines, drop back in. He had legs in him, so he could move about. And you don't see a 6'4", 6'3" defender doing that anymore. So he stood out in that, and he could play defensive midfield. He could push up and just sort of just shield the back four. his game was just so good. He was too good for the Championship, too good for us, and we're just lucky we had him for the time we had him.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's one of them, and whereby he should be playing regular Premier League football at the time. Like, he was too good for the Championship. And then, there's always a few of them knocking about. Yeah, he's a special guy, and a special player but most of all, like, a special bloke. Like, as you know, I speak to a lot of ex-footballers and stuff. I was lucky enough to have a very short conversation with him not long ago, and I can't speak highly enough of him, because, like, when I spoke to him initially, it was cold. Like, he didn't know me. I hadn't been introduced to him by someone else. It was just me contacting him out of the blue, and he couldn't do enough. Like, he was really just top bloke. Like, but I'm sure we'll see further tributes to Sol Bamba at the club. I would hope to see some permanent ones. I know we discussed some options during those focus group meetings, and I suggested, and others suggested, some different options for permanent tributes to Sol Bamba, and one of them was like murals around the ground, different like spray paints and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that they implement them, because they were definitely, to be fair to them, they were very open to all of the options, except working with me to do any sort of video content. But there we go. So that was number 10 on our Christmas countdown. Check out tomorrow, where we'll be at number 9 for another discussion on Cardiff City World. Make sure you subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And if you're feeling particularly Christmassy, hit that join button to become a member. I'm Si, this is Matt, that's Rhys. Some other people.